I'm speaking with Babak Hedayati today, who is basically a serial entrepreneur, a CEO of Tapclicks at the moment, and also has been collecting a lot of interesting experience as a Fortune 500 executive with a history in helping, some of Silicon Valley's most successful companies to grow. And I'm sure we're going to be learning a lot from Babak today. He has an extensive experience in tech software and hardware, including many different cases, but primarily also in the marketing and advertising industry. So Babak, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Cool. So tell us about Tapclicks a little bit, just in very high level. What is it all about?
Yes. So Tapclicks at a high level is a group of people that are very passionate about solving marketing challenges for marketers, coming together and understanding what are some of the major challenges as the world went digital. So what we found out early on was, as there was an explosion of many different kinds of ad tech tools and martech tools, whether it was paid or social, email, etc., it became more and more difficult to essentially manage the data, bring it all together, and then be able to manage the operations of these tools. This was very clear to us from the beginning, that as the number of vendors increases, this task becomes more and more cumbersome on the actual marketers who are just trying to really do their jobs as quickly and efficiently as possible. And their goal essentially is reach the right audience and make sure that the next dollar that you spend or the effort that you put in is effective and goes to the right place and it's not wasted. So we understood that. And the first thing that we realized we had to solve was, how do we bring many sources of data together into a single unified platform that would be, in our case, we call it a marketing data platform. How do we bring all that data together, unify it, so marketers can do different kinds of things with it? One was analytics for internal activity and measurements. 2 is optimization across different kinds of channels. And 3 is reporting, where you have clients or stakeholders or customers that you're servicing with your marketing. So that kind of bifurcation is the concept of, there are media companies, digital agencies, and then brands that are doing their marketing and using a mix of these things. So it doesn't matter who the stakeholder is. Our system is supposed to be able to easily bring data from a lot of sources, 230 of them right now, API-based, which is by far the largest in the industry. We have 4,000 different smart connectors that are also built by our customers and our teams for bringing boutique data in to the platform. And then we automatically create that data warehousing solution. So you don't have to go spend a ton of money to create that data warehousing solution and store the data, etc. So we went after the data management piece, if you will, right off the bat, big data. And we succeeded greatly with a lot of the major media companies, whether they're broadcasters, radio companies, newspapers, yellow page companies. They really had massive scalability issues, and they had to adopt that solution. And then agencies came along, holding companies, and now brands are adopting it very quickly. So that was the first problem we solved. The second problem was really around the efficiency of operations. We saw for reporting, people had to go log into a lot of different tools and try to pull data from it. Well, the problem starts from the beginning, where you have to log into them to run those tools, to manage the workflows, manage the orders. And really what we realized is that there is a single stack unified platform required to do all management of data and operations. And that's what we brought to the market very successfully. A lot of our customers use all of that. And then ultimately we realized that, to be a complete marketing analytics reporting solution, you also have to create your own data, bring additional data for marketing intelligence. We started acquiring companies that can deliver, paid media, SEO type reports, site auditing, etc., and bring all that information into the same place so people can do the core of their marketing on a single platform. Of course, we play with the rest of the ecosystem, and we're probably the most prevalent partnering company in the industry. And with that, our goal is to essentially become the infrastructure player for marketing and ad tech, and let all the different companies run their products individually, but be able to link into our single platform. That's the
Makes complete sense. Two big buckets there. You alluded to the types of customers a little bit already. So you mentioned the media companies, you mentioned the agencies. Can you give us a bit of a further idea who benefits most from your type of platform that you are providing? Is it concentrated in one of the groups that you mentioned it, or is it all over the place basically?
No, we have the leaders in each space, the biggest companies using us, and all of the next group in that top layer group, for the most part, are using our platform as the standard in the media, if you want to call it business.
Mm-hmm.
They use our platform. A lot of agencies, so we have about 5,000 different agencies and media companies that are using our solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the brands, a lot of the retail brands, consumer brands are now adopting our solution because at the end of the day, it's very, very efficient and value driven. So a lot of companies used to go build their own stuff. And of course, with the whole COVID issue, the coronavirus, where people are trying to figure out how to optimize their systems, how to make them more automated because the workforce may not be available. We're seeing actually an uptick in our business because people are choosing to buy versus build.
Yep.
And people are looking for those efficiencies and actually enabling their teams to focus on the optimization, human intelligence side of the picture rather than what can be automated and made available online for them, which is reporting and those kind of things. So that's how it's going.
Okay, we got quite some agency owners actually in the audience. From what type of size of agency does your type of tool become relevant? Are we talking small agencies? Is it really big players? What is relevant there? Yeah,
so we have different solutions for the different sizes of agencies. So we totally have people that are two-man shops working on marketing for a few SMBs. Mm-hmm. They might use the Tapclick solution, but we have other brands as well, like Raven, iEspionage, and others, Megalithic, etc., that are more directed toward the low end. And then as you go up the curve, there's the mid-range folks that, a lot of them are our customers where, there's maybe 50 people. Sometimes there's 10 people running a lot of marketing for a major brand like Coca-Cola or something. They use the high scalability of our platform because they're running a lot of different things, maybe in a region. Maybe they have 60 different things that they're using to run those campaigns. And sometimes you have a 50-person company that has that is supplying solutions to, let's say, 1,000 SMBs. And then when you move up market, they become enterprise class customers. And that's where we got our legs. We started with enterprise companies where big data was really important. They needed 100 different tools supported. Yep. Scalability was both in the front end of data entry, data management, data hierarchical management, and then being able to send reports sometimes to tens of thousands of their end clients. So we actually supply our solutions to all types of agencies and media companies.
I see. And how would you describe the journey of an agency, learning about TapClicks, discovering the product, trying it, maybe getting started? What are the channels that have been sort of working for you guys?
It's traditionally it's kind of interesting. First and foremost, it's a lot of organic. Mm-hmm. People hear about us. There's a lot of customers that are already using us. We are pretty active in the ecosystem with trade shows and things like that, and our partners mm-hmm. usually recommend our solution. So we get a lot of organic leads. Then it's a lot of the even people leave one place and go to another. Often they choose TapClicks and they take that into that company. So I like that because that tells you have a strong solution that people like and are willing to endorse. We do a whole lot of marketing. Daryl, our VP of marketing, is online as well. He does a lot of really, really cool things in terms of both social, content generation, and advertising. And of course, as usual, Google advertising usually is a major contributor. But it's a long tail for us in terms of how we get people interested, including our sales force that might understand that certain market really is using us, and the rest of them just need to know about us, so they might call them and tell them about it.
Makes complete sense. Which role does the website then play in this sort of orchestra? You mentioned a lot of referrals. You mentioned even
Well,
trade shows. But like,
the
what is
website is
the
where people come to get the main, deep levels of information, and of course they eventually do, free trials and things like that on the website. So it is where everything comes to, you get that funnel. People are finding out about you, and then when they come into the website, that's where they take actions to download a white paper or do a free trial or something like that. So of course that's a big thing for us, no question about it.
You mentioned the sales force there. How do you think about qualification, right? Because we had a lot of guys on the show that, put in very sophisticated processes in order to qualify, to order the leads, and how they're being approached. What's your take on that?
Well, we have an excellent team of people that come from the data space. And in effect, this is our business, is to marketing, analytics, and reporting. So Daryl, the person who I mentioned, he has a massive background on data and data-driven marketing and things like that. So, our implementation of our solution really is heavily focused on those kind of automatic qualifications, but we also have SDRs that take it to the next level and make sure that we're qualifying properly. So it's a whole stack of tools that we use, that you would probably know in order to go through the whole marketing and sales funnel. It's probably about 20 different tools that are in there.
Very interesting. One sort of follow-up question on the website. We had a look before we were starting this interview, and what is interesting is that it's possible to start a free trial, but also get a demo, right? How do you think about that different ways? Is one of them prevalent over the other? Is it do you try to just give them a choice? How do you think about that? Because
it really boils down to how I see different people's personalities. It's a very old thing that we did a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I've always felt that there are people that are do-it-yourselfers and there are the do-it-for-me types, and it also depends on their position in the company and how big the company is. There are often people that want to be serviced, and the service-oriented people want a demo. They want to find out, learn about it. They want your people to service them from the beginning. Like, tell me what this is. I want to ask all my questions. And even when we do the selling, they expect a certain level of service to go in the selling process and in the onboarding and so on and so forth. So it depends on the personality of people as well as the kind of position they have and the kind of company they work for. Free trials are often people that are much more, experimentation folks. They like to maybe check out 6 different tools before they make a decision. They want to connect things up themselves and really understand the ease of use of the tool themselves. And they enjoy that process. It adds value to them personally. There's a sense of satisfaction. And, it's kind of a self-serve scenario. But often, those folks even ultimately require a demo. It's just a different stage of it.
Gotcha.
They want to be knowledgeable before they ask questions. The other guys just want to have things explained so they can ask questions.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is because we've seen very different outcomes in terms of conversion success, with those types of different, booking a demo, free trial. I was just curious, what have you learned that has improved conversions on your page?
I'd love to know it from your part. Why don't you tell me what you know? And of course, and I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I actually would love to know what do you guys know?
Sure. So what we're learning is basically it's activity driven, right? Users have a certain journey that they go through first time, second time, third time, fifth time that they're visiting, and there tends to be certain series of actions. On desktop, it can be a pattern, that they're defocusing, focusing on your screen quite a bit because they're comparing the tools. Then they're coming back, and then there's certain time frames, below 30 seconds, and then maybe 80 seconds up, where they're much more likely to convert, right? So it's all those individual actions contributing, and being able to, use those information and then win conversions is something sort of the space that we're in.
I assume that PathMonk is an expert in that, and you guys actually help that process.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, that sounds very good. Certainly, we really, really respect that level of data. I would say that, again, we're an analytics reporting company at our heart, so we really, really respect that. We've tried to put together, customer experience teams, people that go through the process. We also have some data about, is it better to go through a free trial or a demo and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, we can always learn more, and I'm sure your product is interesting and we want to know more about it.
Okay, cool. Yes, so let's switch gears a little bit, because we spoke about the website, we spoke about growth, we spoke about qualification. I would be curious just to learn about you personally a little bit more as sort of a leader of a, you've been, what is it, like about 10 years with Tapclicks. I would just, at first, I would like to know, how would you describe your own goal in your role at the very moment? Is that a certain KPI? Is that a vision that you're following? How would you describe that?
Personally, I'm more of a vision-driven person. So I see that, I always see the world as it really needs to be from my perspective rather than it is. So for me, having a technology background as well as a lot of marketing background in different kind of companies where I've ran marketing and other functions globally, for me, things could always be better and more efficient. So it's one of those things that until we get to a point where marketers can easily manage the different marketing processes and the data around it so they can make data-driven decisions easily and quickly, and have some help that gives them insights. I don't think I'm going to rest until that happens and that adoption happens in a global perspective from Tapclicks and other vendors. We do have that vision of a single unified platform. There's no other company that's behaving that way. You see, bigger companies might go and buy some point tools and offer that up to their customers. But our philosophy is that the disruptive solution is to make it very easy to adopt and very easy to deploy. So anyone can access these tools and run them anywhere, and essentially make it cost beneficial enough so they can afford it. That's our vision, and the vision is really make it easy to do marketing and make it smart to do marketing. So that's the vision. That's what drives most of our decision making, whether we invest in a particular technology. Right now, we're very focused on both competitive intelligence and marketing intelligence solutions. If we can't build the product, we are likely to go acquire a company that has, and we'd like to bring that into the fold of our single unified platform in a seamless way. So we literally often rebuild that complete solution to ensure that that data is shared on a single database and it's truly a single unified experience from a UI UX perspective.
It's also a difficult process, a long process to bring them in. Very good.
That's right.
Cool. You personally, how do you educate yourself? Where do you sort of get, nuggets of insights? Do you read certain type of books, certain podcasts? Is it specific people that you sort of check in with? How would you sort of, up your game?
Yeah, I think I don't kind of see it as upping my game. I'm just an information sponge. I love new learning personally. And I've learned that anytime that I'm learning, I can add value to the team, to the company, or just be a better leader or a manager. So for me, it's a continuous absorption of information through any kind of a source I can get my hands on. Certainly business books, certainly, products like Business Insider, et cetera, podcasts. And there are a whole lot of channels that you can subscribe to, like Inc. or, Entrepreneur. There's all kinds of different kinds of solutions that I find all of them beneficial. Certainly, one of the big things, which is not learning, is inspirational stories, which really make you try to make yourself better as a leader and be a great leader in different points of time and given different kinds of challenges. That's my personal goal, is to make myself ready for different times. So right now, we're going through the coronavirus scenario, global, disaster. And I feel like, given the fact that I really, really studied it early, we were ahead of the curve so far in making decisions that other people made later. And I think that's the key, to stay ahead of the curve in whatever it is that you're doing. So for example, working from home, as soon as the news came out, I went and talked to a whole bunch of public company CEOs and very successful CEOs in the private space in San Francisco, and they were telling me, hey, they're going to shut down. Well, San Francisco was a couple of weeks ahead of San Jose, where we were located. But I took the decision to take us to work from home immediately because I had insight from other people.
Makes sense. Actually, since you're bringing that up, I would be curious, the types of clients that you're working with, what was their initial reaction? You mentioned a little bit, there's more buying than building at the moment. Anything else that you've seen? Are agencies, going stronger into your product because it just, helps them to set up a strong base for their clients now? What is the sort of, a development that you can already see?
It's a mixed bag. There's certainly, on the upside, as I mentioned, a whole lot of our traditional customers want to go deeper with us as a technology partner. They want us to, or they want to adopt more of our solutions, let's say. I've already gotten those calls and had those management meetings, and it's happening very often. So on the large company side, enterprise class, we're seeing a big draw where super expensive solutions are frowned upon right now, and people are looking for easier to use and lower cost solutions. On the silver lining side of things, I think there's a whole lot of marketing that's traditionally done, like conferences and things like that, that are stopped. So people are going digital. So we're seeing more focus on digital marketing, and people are doing cross-channel optimizations and reporting. The third one is people can't be at the office working together, pulling reports together physically. So they love the idea that they can do all of it online. So we're getting actually a major push toward Tapclicks. More people are adopting it than ever before from that perspective. On the other hand, there are businesses that are hit that are supporting the travel industry, for example, or certain types of restaurants and things like that. Those guys, if they have a pure focus on a vertical that is massively hit, they're suffering. And our heart goes out to them. We hope that their families are safe, that their businesses survive. And we will actually do everything we can to help those guys, because it's a partnership. I don't think there's ever been a better time for humanity to come together and help each other. And it's important to understand that things are in a kind of a constant shift. And as you go to try to make your business better and make it survive, etc., you need to bring other people with you, because it's all going to come back toward a positive space again. And we'd like to have that legacy that we helped other people in the process.
Very cool. It's very good to hear from a founder like yourself. Very cool. Since we're slowly coming to an end of the interview, would you mind if I ask you, 5 rapid fire questions to close everything up?
Sure, if I have answers for them.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So the very first one would be, for your company, if I say the word marketing operations, what comes to your mind?
Bringing operational fluidity to taking marketing actions.
Okay. So if I say the word sales operations, go ahead. Do you want to expand on that?
Orders and workflow management and data management.
Okay.
Sales operations?
Sales operations, yeah.
Sales operations, I wish it would get better.
Very good.
The word that comes to my mind.
Cool. What's the one single thing that your company is focused at the moment on the most right now?
Say that again.
Sure. What's the one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment right now?
The same thing it's always been focused on, innovation. Mm-hmm. So.
Very good. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing that you would want to have fixed today for your company?
No boundaries in technology. What would I fix? Lower hosting fees for data.
Yep. I understand why. It makes complete sense in your scenario. Okay. What's the last thing that kept you awake at night for your company?
The last thing that kept me awake at night. I don't usually, I don't usually not sleep because of issues associated with the company, but I do tend to solve problems, challenges kind of in the back of my head. So I'm going to try to see, what was it I was discussing with my staff this morning?
Mm-hmm.
It had to do with processes. I think managing processes is really important. And anytime I can get efficiency around processes, I think it's a good thing for our company.
Okay. And the very last question, if today would be your first day of starting TapClicks, what would be one advice that you would give yourself?
The first day, I would say good luck. I think if I knew how difficult it was, because, you know, again, I do come from Fortune 500 companies where, you know, other people have built the company and had great success with it, and you come in and, you know, a lot of stuff is already built out for you, and you just kind of do what you're trained to do and what you want to lead in that function. I would say to all entrepreneurs, I say good luck. There's so much you don't know, and as they say, there's so much you don't know you don't know. So it's a tough deal, and if I knew it, I would definitely try to encourage myself to think twice about the decision. I consider myself lucky that TapClicks is where it is, and it is where it is not because of me only, but all the other people that work at TapClicks, and we got just like a really, really smart group of people that are truly bought into the vision and are self-motivated. So if you don't have that, good luck.
Very good. Babak, I really appreciate that you gave us a quick overview of what TapClicks is, who is using it, how you're thinking about growth in terms of qualification, conversions, and also about you personally a little bit as a founder. So thanks for taking the time today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.